Hello YouTube. So my name's Elliott. This is my first video on YouTube where I'm actually talking, so please bear with me. My inexperience might shine through here, but never mind. So yeah, the reason I'm making this video is I'm quite proud of this one actually. I've sort of been working at this for a couple of months, trying to get it all worked out, watching loads of YouTube videos on how to set things up, how to sort of create pedal boards and stuff like that. And I've kind of got to a point now where I think I've got it absolutely nailed in, and I've got everything I'll ever need out of a guitar rig, basically. So here's the board. There it is in all its glory. I'm so happy with it, man. Honestly, I can't even begin to sort of express how sort of I just look at it like it's my child sometimes. So yeah, basically the reasoning behind sort of creating this was I'm in a small band in the northwest of the UK. We play sort of metalcore, hardcore stuff, and we play in sort of small bars, not even onto clubs or anything like that. We're playing small bars, and it just doesn't warrant like the big sort of tube amps and the massive cabs and stuff like that. Although I do run a 412, a Zilla 412, but never mind. So basically what I wanted to do, I wanted to create like a board where it'd fit in a case. I'd not need as many wires, and I could go to a gig. I could either run into front of a house, or I could use my cabinet and basically practice at home with it as well. You know, I don't just play metal. I like diving into like the really sort of ambient stuff. I like 80s hair metal. I like classic rock and everything in between, really. I've got quite an eclectic taste. Let me just move this camera down a bit. Yeah, I've got quite an eclectic taste in music, so the pedals sort of will help me get the sounds I want, and the sounds from different genres of music, which is really good. So yeah, so basically the main pedal of the entire rig is the HX Stomp. I've used Helix products before in the past. I've used LTs, I've used the actual Helix rack, and although they are great units, what I've found is they're still very big, and they've got so much sort of processing power and stuff stuffed in them, and I don't really need all that. I just need, this is based around sort of 3 signature sort of settings: clean, rhythm, lead, and these pedals I can stamp on and off whenever I feel like it to get different sort of styles. So like with the clean patch, I can kick on the overdrive and have like a crunchy, like an old school crunchy rock sort of sound. The metal rhythm sort of tone, I can kick on the Strymon and create like a bit of a lead sort of harmony tone. I can use a waza chorus to create an 80s metal tone, or like Black Label Society tone. And it just seems to, I've just put so much sort of effort into researching these pedals and how they go together and how they work and stuff. I'm really sort of really happy with how it's come together. So the way it works is I run my guitar straight into this Dunlop Junior wah. It's Crybaby wah. A lot of people, when I see online, they've always got the volume wah pedal, which is controlled by the Helix. I thought I'd save myself a couple of quid and just actually use the wah I had at home and run this just straight into the front of the HX, and it works fine. It works exactly like it would do with a tube amp. So if you have got a wah lying about and you think, oh, I could put that on my board and use it with my Helix product or a modeler product, it works well. Honestly, I really like the sound of it. So I've got that, and then that goes into my tuner. down at the bottom here. So I use that as like a mute pedal, a tuner pedal obviously, and to mute my signal as well, like in between songs. And it also frees up this switch here, which is normally like a tuner or a tap tempo from stock. So by changing that, I can then access free snapshots on the HX Stomp, which is really good. So I go from the tuner to the Maxon Overdrive Extreme. So this is just basically a Maxon 808, but apparently it's got like an extra 5 dB of boost in there. I never use that, but it sounds exactly like an 808, so it's a great pedal. I've always used a boost in front of a dirty amp to get that metal chug tone, and I really enjoy using that. So that goes into the HX Stomp, and that's controlling sort of all my amp simulation stuff. I've got a few little effects on there as well, like a noise gate and compressor for my clean tone, and I've got like a tiny little bit of reverb on my rhythm metal tone because I like that. And then that comes out of the effects loop into the waza chorus, and then from the waza chorus it goes into the Strymon Blue Sky, and I'm using that for like a lead tone, clean ambient stuff, all sorts of things. And I've only just recently got that, and I've not deep dived into it properly enough to sort of, in my opinion, showcase what it can actually do. I'll do my best later obviously, but yeah, so that's that. So it goes back in from there into the Stomp, and then into the Seymour Duncan Powerstage 170, and that's basically all that's on the board for, is to use that with that live practice and live use into my 412 cab. At home when I'm practicing, I use an own hammer IR in the HX Stomp, and that's orange 412 pack, and it sounds absolutely crushing. It's great. It's a great pack. And then all that, apart from the Powerstage, all the pedals and the HX Stomp is powered by the One Spot CS-6. Never had any problems with powering anything. They all power up as they should. And yeah, it's just a great board, man. This is like the first time I've built a pedal board like this, and I tell you, I've really enjoyed the process. I think I'm gonna get like another little pedal board for my tube amplifiers, and just set that up with a few analog pedals. So I've got that as well. But this is the main sort of go-to guitar rig, entire guitar rig. What I use pretty much every day when I play guitar. So yeah. So there's a few cool little sort of additions what I've made over the past couple of weeks. What have made this even more sort of, what's the word, convenient to use basically. So as you can see, the HX Stomp's at the bottom because when I play live, these are the main three switches I use, and the tuner and the big sky, blue sky, sorry. But to put that there, I'd had to put my Maxon pedal at the top, and what that does is it's sort of cut off all the ins and outputs, you see. So what I've had to do is the actual input and output of the guitar signal has been fine. I've just used patch cables for that, but it's more the USB, so I can get the editing software connect the Stomp to the editing software, because when I'm at home I like to mess about with the amp simulation and stuff. So I went on Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description to the product. I don't know if you can see it there, but this is like a right angled USB 2.0 cable, and it comes under the board. And it is there, look. So I've wired it, I've zip tied it together with the wires, and that just sits there like that, and I can connect it to my computer without moving any pedals or anything. And the same goes for the output from the HX Stomp. Usually goes into the Powerstage, which then goes to a cab. But obviously when I'm playing at home, I don't use a Powerstage because it's just too loud. So I've got this little quarter jack to quarter jack cable, which then runs into that, which goes into my audio interface, and all I need to do to make that work is just take that out of there and then plug that in there, and then that's connected to my computer, and I can run an IR signal from the HX Stomp for speakers. And yeah, that's that. And I think it works really well. I'm sort of really pleased with that, because the first few weeks where I had it set up this way, I kept having to take the Maxon off, and you know, it was starting to annoy me a little bit. I was thinking, do I rearrange the board, and do I sort of just put the Stomp at the top? But then, like, when I was standing and playing at practice, it just felt a little bit uncomfortable having to step over pedals to get to the main three switches I use. So that's that. And I think, like, the Crybaby Junior works so well with the Stomp. Honestly, if you've got a Crybaby War at home and a HX Stomp or a Helix product, or any other modeler for that matter, try running it into the front of it and see what you think, because I honestly can't tell the difference between running that into a Stomp and running that into a traditional amplifier. I think it works just as it should. So yeah, that's the board. I'm going to do my best to sort of give you some tones from it. So yeah, I'll put it on the floor, get it all wired up, and I'll play a few little noodles and stuff. So yeah, that was it. And it sounds really good if you ask me, but I'm biased because I've created it. So yeah, I did a few little original riffs and a few obviously noticeable riffs from a few different bands. Let me know what you think. Is there anything I've missed from this board? Could I potentially add something else? I know I've got hardly any space left now, but I was thinking I've had a thought about changing the tuner for the Jet MIDI Macro. I saw a lot of YouTube videos on that, but other than that, I'm really happy with how it sounds. It's got that real sort of like cutting thrash tone to it, and I could play around on the. Sorry, my dog's coming in. What are you doing? So yeah, it's got I could play around with that clean tone for forever. It sounds amazing, in my opinion anyway. So that's the board. If anyone's got any questions on how I set it up or my settings on the HX Stomp or whatever, if you are interested, the amp models I was using on the HX was, for clean it was the Placator. I think it's modelled after a Friedman, that, but don't take my word for that, I'm not sure. But the actual gain amp was the Line 6 Oblivion. It was new in the new update, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a great amp sim. Really good for that really high gain tone. Let me just put this down a minute. So if anyone were wondering what guitar I was using, I was using my Gibson Les Paul 50s, completely stock. It sounds absolutely monstrous if you ask me. This one's actually a demo model. I don't know if you can see on the back there, but I got it from a local guitar dealer, and it was a demo shop model, so I got a really good price on it, and I think it's sick. I'm a Gibson guy. I love Gibson. So yeah. Yeah, so if anyone's got any questions or any tips or advice, I'd love to hear it. I'm not expecting this video to sort of reach a lot of people, but if it does reach you and you enjoyed it, shoot me a like and subscribe and all that jazz. Alright, thanks a lot. See you next time.